2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Welcome to Minnesota, the home court advantage for the Timberwolves here at the Target Center. Take a look at the Warriors. They haven't started out with the success they had hoped for, but the season obviously is still very young.
You know, this team is one that has tremendous talent. I mean, you look at the roster, and you expect them to be pretty good. They just have been a little disjointed here early in the season. But they're very capable of getting it going and having a strong year.
Yeah, I think so too, but they better not wait too much longer, guys, because they don't want to dig themselves too big of a hole to start this season.
And now, Thompson and Barnes, the 2 and 3. Then it's Magician. Then there's Draymond Green. And it's Douglas in at the 5, down low. Now, here's Fry. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Memphis.
Yeah, he picked his spots in that game, too, Kevin, because I thought he not only did a nice job scoring, but setting up his teammates as well.
This is his first trip to the line tonight.
And you know, last game, guys, he shot very well from the stripe. Made a nice contribution there.
Yeah, he sure did. Turned in a really nice performance.
Yeah, you know, that was one spot where they didn't have to worry about him at all. I mean, at the free throw line, he was automatic.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2. Looking at the last game for the Golden State Warriors, it was a loss to the Suns in Phoenix.
And what stands out from that game, Clark, is that they let a lot of points slip through their fingers at the free throw line.
Yep, and I think some doubt started to creep in as well when they kept missing their foul shots. Guys seemed to tighten up and start alligator arming those things.
First quarter, just over a minute played. Here's Bennett. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
And here are the Warriors now. This is their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season.
Yeah, I think they're a little better than this ball club, and it showed last year winning the season series.
Such a wide open look. 7 points for Magician. Magician's gone a perfect 3 for 3 so far. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Guys, I had a chance to catch up with the Minnesota Timberwolves head coach. A big factor in this game, he said, is how well they do to contain the young shooter Klay Thompson, saying Thompson can really give you trouble coming off screens. We've got to have all-out energy fighting to stay on his hip, and then we need to pressure on the ball handler to try and delay the pass. Kevin, both jobs are hard.
Thanks again, Doris. Steve just mentioned how they won the season series a year ago. That was the way it went against most teams they faced, Clark.
It's true. They were a very hard team to get the best of, Kevin.
Here's Magician. 32 points for him last game against Phoenix. The 15-footer, good. Magician's got 9.
4 or 5 shots have dropped for them already. Not a bad way to get things started.
Levine kicks to Fry. The dish now to Bennett. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And that's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
And that'll be Golden State as it goes out of bounds. Warriors retain possession. With a pause in the action, let's show you the teams that were best from the line last season. In fourth, the Timberwolves.
You know, it's interesting when you look at this team, Kevin. I mean, they found a way to get their whole team to knock down free throws at a consistent level. I mean, a team that can't make free throws, that's a huge liability and one you don't want to deal with. They'd like to repeat. Oh, how about that basketball, man? Wow.
Now, Clark, that is just ridiculous.
Absolutely filthy. I don't remember ever seeing a dunk like that in a game. I certainly can't remember the last time I saw it.
Oh, man, that was just amazing.
Magician passes to Thompson. And he gets it to go.
You know, that's one way he can finish, but not the only way. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
For Minnesota, they've gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Here's Bennett, and again it's Minnesota converted.
Well, that shot keeps him at 100% from the field this quarter.
So it's the Warriors now. First quarter of play and just over 3.5 minutes in. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
When you're hot, you're hot. And that's certainly been the case for Magician. Already up to 9 points. And he's added a steal to his stat line also.
Well, that's obviously not a big number, but he's been doing some valuable defensive work for him.
So both teams making some changes here. Both free throws good from Magician. The Timberwolves trail. Rubio outside. Here's Johnson. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. Johnson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
Here's Moran. No good. Johnson with the defensive effort.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
And Rubio kicks to Jones. And he misses the go-ahead basket.
Had a pretty good look at the basket, but defensively they did a nice job rotating, forcing the miss.
And there's the bucket from Magician. Magician's got 13.
He is just tearing it up this quarter. That lead's not going anywhere while he's this hot.
Outside Hill. Johnson outside. Trying to find Jones. He gets it to him. Warriors with the rebound.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
Passes it to Green. Right wing. Tries a three. No good from Magician. Timberwolves have gone 6 of 9, shooting it well. Hill dishes to Rubio. 43 seconds left to play in the first. And Johnson now top of the key. Just 5 to shoot. Hits it from 3-point range. Johnson's got 7.
Now they're not showing too much respect for him defensively, are they?
Here's Magician, covered by Rubio. Pass to Magician. Rubio comes with the double team, and out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw.
Nice shooting.
Minnesota in the lead. And the pass to Dellavedova. Rubio outside. Up here. Minnesota leading by 3. They've got Anthony Bennett. Hill is up there with Levine. Then it's Dwayne Dedman. And it's Fry in at the small forward position. So that's the Timberwolves 5. Another miss by Minnesota. Warriors have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, Magician in the last matchup against the Suns played some outstanding basketball. He ended with 32 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. Safe to say he is out of his funk after a game like this. He'll try to keep up this pace now, guys.
Appreciate it, Doris. Thanks. Well, we've seen a lot of great players have a lot of great games, but that Clark was something special.
Kevin, it really was. I mean, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at him, and nothing slowed him down.
Well, let's just say he was really good.
They set the screen. Curry passes to Magician. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Timberwolves.
Guys, they're really passing the ball well here in the first half.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Johnson, he's checked in for Minnesota. And then for Golden State, Draymond Green, he's checked in for Wingate. And it's Klay Thompson in for Curry. And Fry has it in the corner. Johnson kicks to Bennett. Back to Johnson. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Shot clock at 6. And again. Minnesota with the triple.
Look out, guys. I mean, I think there's a lot more where that came from. When he gets it going like this, it is not easy to slow him down.
3 minutes of action so far in the second quarter. Thompson in the corner. Shoots the 3. And again, no good by Golden State.
You could see it in his eyes. It became mano-mano. He wanted to return the favor with that 3, but just didn't get it to go.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
Lanier. And he comes off the screen and slams it through. Tremendous stuff from a guy, Clark, we think more of for his passing.
Yeah, but he's got tremendous leaping ability and a surplus supply, too.
Well, that's a great aggressive move, and 2 big points, too.
Fry dishes to Bennett. To the left side wing. Lots of room. Good. He hits the jump shot. Fry's got the lead up to 5 now for the Timberwolves.
A look now at where the Timberwolves ranked in the NBA last year. First in opponent field goal shooting. Third in rebounding. And they were ranked 3rd in the league in steals. This is a team that does a nice job gambling and covering up for each other. That's why they're able to come up with those steals.
And Clark, you know this. I mean, anytime you see a team #1 in the NBA in field goal percentage defense, you know they're getting after it. So this is a club that plays extremely hard. They take great pride in their defense. They have a concern. concerted effort every single night to try to stop the opposing team.
I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Kevin, Doc Rivers just addressing the plan with his team. If what he talked about is a true indication, the pick and roll is going to be their go-to play from now on. He sees that as being their best option offensively. Something else he mentioned is that he's giving them the green light on offense. He wants to see a high volume of shots. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris.
Easy call there.
No question about that one. You can hear the impact from where I am.
At the line for two.
And both free throws good for Fry. 1:46 left in the first half of basketball. Here's Magician. 17 points in the game.
Obviously, they're evenly matched teams on the inside. The rebound numbers are very even.
Yeah, I've been impressed with just both teams' energy, just really working hard on the board.
Thompson for three. And that one's good. Thompson's got his second bucket tonight.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Minnesota comes into this one following a loss to the Grizzlies.
Well, they heaved up a lot of ill-advised three-pointers in that loss. Guys, they were way too trigger-happy from downtown.
Yeah, and that's not the area on the court where you want to be forcing shots from. Heck, you were a great three-point shooter, and you know that, Steve.
Yeah, just rely on that when things aren't going your way.
Dishes it to Barnes. There's the triple. No luck. And Minnesota now the other way.
Definitely a 2-for-1 situation here, guys.
Yeah, the wise move would be to find themselves a quick shot right away.
Here's Dedman, defended by Douglas, and he gets it to go.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
Well, it's become one of the stories of the first half, Clark, just piling up points in the paint.
Kicks it to Barnes. The three. Get it to go. Timberwolves leading by 6. Here's Levine. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Pass to Fry. Off the screen. And there's another one for the Timberwolves.
Very effective screen to set up the jumper. That was the key to that play.
Up in time. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And that concludes the first half. Timberwolves ahead, leading by 8. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, the offense has obviously been a struggle. What do you think you can do better to make up ground on them?
I don't think there's a magic answer to that. Defenses aren't exactly a puzzle there's a solution to. Sometimes all you can do is hoist it up and hope it goes in. Right now, they just aren't falling for us.
Thank you for your time. This one far from over, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly.
Okay, everybody, pay attention. We definitely got some stuff to go over from the first half. We're not going to let this game get away from us. Continue to have smart possessions. Let's keep the turnovers to a minimum. That was a big boost to our offense. Looking for an area to improve on, it's our scoring in the low post. We need to work the ball inside and try to generate some more offense in there. And let me tell you this, the third quarter is going to be a showcase for our pick and roll, fellas. That is what...
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Really an incredible game from the Magician.
Yeah, he played a very mature first half offensively, just finding gaps and making good decisions, getting into the defense and knocking down shots.
Well, the way he played that first half, and that's exactly what we're talking about when we say offensive efficiency.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. And Golden State looking at who they've got. Thompson and Barnes, the 2 and 3. And it's Douglas in at the 5 spot. No good from Fry. Warriors trail by 5. Here's Magician. It's hauled in by Fry. Fry's got 4 rebounds in this game. Here's Johnson. A great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and nasty jam.
Yeah, nice fast break from start to finish, guys.
Especially on the back end. I mean, he polished it off perfectly.
No good from Magician. Timberwolves leading by 7. Fry passes to Levine. Got it. Good job in the low post. Fry's got 16.
You know, it seems like when they've gone to him, he's really come through. And that's not something they should get away from.
The feed to Green. Wants to get it to Douglas and does. Thompson outside. Now the dish to Barnes and stolen by Fry. And now Minnesota on the fast break. And Wesley Johnson with the slam.
Agility leads to thievery there as he got his hand in there to get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
Plays like that are telling the story of this game for me so far, Clark. They cannot afford to hand over any more easy points like that.
Out to the right wing. Count that one in, and the Timberwolves lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Magician. And Clark, we saw a very animated huddle that last break, and I'm sure the coach wanted something specific from his team.
Well, Kevin, this is certainly a key moment for the squad, and he's looking for players to lock into the new game plan and carry it out the rest of the way. That's what he's trying to get across. Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
Yeah, that's 4 straight trips, guys, where their passes have ended up in scores. 4 straight assists. Great team play.
Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Fry, good.
They had no problem knocking down that shot. And a little more damage inflicted on another defensive lapse.
Magician passes to Thompson. Pass to Magician. From deep. Rebound collected by Levine.
You know, they're not...
Okay, these are the days when you prove you're a real professional. Some people treat practice like it's an item they need to check off a list, something you have to endure or survive. But the great ones treat practice like it is, to get better, to challenge yourself, to become the player you were destined to become. So let's get after it. Embrace the opportunity.
sailing.
The 2K Sports pregame show, presented by Sprite.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal on 2K Sports, and the NBA season is about to begin. In this game, we'll see the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Golden State Warriors at Oracle Arena. And for the Warriors, it's always an exciting time of the year as fans and other players and coaches around the league all getting a first look at how they might be shaping up for the upcoming season. One of the things when you looked at the playoffs of 2014, Shaq, was the depth that San Antonio had. What a bench.
On the road and hungry for a win against the Western Conference rival, the San Antonio Spurs are ready for this one to get started. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Going to bring you the NBA right here on 2K Sports. And it's the Warriors to start out. And to look at the starters for San Antonio, Leonard and Duncan are the pair at forward. Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And it's Splitter in at the 5, down low.
Steph Curry known for his great shooting, and rightly so, but a well-rounded player. In fact, he tied for second in the NBA last season with 3 triple-doubles.
Now here's Parker. And it's Duncan penetrating. Back to Parker. 5 to shoot. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. And it's Green missing.
Yeah, again, iffy shot selection there. Defender draped all over.
Well, you got to understand who's guarding you in that situation. I mean, if he's on you tight, you can't just rise up and try to shoot over the top. And Steph Curry's first triple-double, how about this? It happened early last season, and it only took him 3 quarters of play in what was an early statement game for the Warriors against the hapless. Sixers, Steph showed them who was in charge that night.
And so it's the Warriors getting on the board first. Poke loose. And here we go. Thompson heading to the hoop. They get it back. Iguodala. That's good.
That's some tenacity inside, battling for the second chance points.
Here's Parker. And Steph Curry, Steve, one of the best rebounding point guards in the NBA throughout his young career.
Yeah, not the strongest or the most explosive athlete, but incredible coordination and anticipation. And so his feel for the game allows him to figure out where to be before everybody else on the floor.
Thompson with the bucket.
You know, that's one way he can finish, but not the only way. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Not a fast start here for the Spurs. Searching for their first points of the game. Parker drives in. He used that pick to get in close.
Well, we'll see if that shot breaks things open a little bit. It's been a slow start.
Hopefully that gets them on the right track here, Steve.
Curry outside. Another three for Golden State.
They got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat.
Yeah, it's been a clinic at that end of the floor, no question.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, Greg Popovich and I got a chance to talk for a bit. A big factor in this game, he said, is how well they do to contain the young shooter Klay Thompson, saying Thompson can really give you trouble coming off screens. We've got to have all-out energy fighting to stay on his hip, and then we need to pressure on the ball handler to try and delay the pass. Kevin, both jobs are hard.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. And here is Parker. After the three-pointer from Stephen Curry. In the corner, it's Splitter. Green against Thompson. 6 to shoot. Parker with no one around, and he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline.
Well, a huge part of the defensive turnaround for the Warriors has been the improvement in their rebounding. In fact, they were dead last for 5 straight seasons from 2007 to 2012 in defensive rebounding. And in 2013, they went from worst to first.
Andre Iguodala comes up with the rebound. Up the alley-oop pass.
They built a big lead here early.
Both defensively and offensively. They've been terrific right from the tip.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
He needs to get them back into a flow offensively. You know, things have gotten stagnant for them, and they're starting to force some of these shots.
And that can snowball on you. One guy takes a bad shot, then another guy does, and then you're missing back-to-back-to-back shots, and all of a sudden you have no rhythm and you're self-inflicting wounds.
Looking at who's out there now for the Warriors. Andrew Bogut. He's checked in for Green. Lee comes in for Barnes. Leandro Barbosa. He's checked in for Klay Thompson. And it's Livingston in for Steph Curry.
And the Warriors, you know, last season, top 5 in defensive rebounding percentage, and not far off in overall rebound. With David Lee and Andrew Bogut inside, they tended to control their backboard.
Well, with this soft D, they're allowing them to shoot a very high percentage from the field so far.
Yeah, and they're just not offering any resistance, not making anything difficult for them, and they're able to kind of do whatever they want to do.
Here's Mills. Bellinelli for 3. The offensive rebound. Shot to end this cold run. Nice D from Bogut. Here's Baines. The shot from the low post is good. Baines has got his first points of the game.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
And the trade for Andrew Bogut really changed the identity for the Golden State Warriors.
Well, they really hadn't been very good defensively in the middle since the mid-'70s with Nate Thurman. So Bogut has brought them rebounding, rim protection, and an element of toughness that they sorely lacked. Yeah, he didn't have to slow down at all, guys. Just perfectly timed pass there.
Livingston kicks to Iguodala. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Livingston. That's 7 points for Iguodala.
They are making some noise from downtown, guys.
And they've got themselves a very nice lead to show for it.
And Ginobili, here we go. The shot no good. Nice D from Bogut. Got it up. A sensational shot at the buzzer.
And perfectly timed. Couldn't have done it any better. How about the poise under pressure?
Well,
unbelievable.
Guys, he got himself into as good a position as he could before he pulled the trigger. What a play.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Warriors.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
Also, what passing we've seen from them here early. I mean, there could be a big number in the assist column if this keeps up.
Spurs trail by 20.
So much can be said about the Spurs' dominance as a franchise. I mean, 15 straight years of winning 50 games or more during the regular season. You know, last year, they were at least 500 or better against every other team in the league, and they have been since 1976.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the floor for San Antonio, Diaw and Duncan at the 4 and the 5. Green teams with Leonard on the wings, and it's Parker in at the point guard position. San Antonio making a switch here. Splitters checked in. You guys, think about the history of the Spurs. They didn't even come into the NBA until 1976 when they made the transition from the old ABA.
Well, you talk about a fan base that is spoiled. I mean, nearly 40 years of beating every team in the league, more than they've been beaten by those teams. So just an incredible record.
You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle. And that's held true in this one so far, Steve.
And even if it's only a modest advantage that they have in that category, it's still a significant factor.
Curry can't get it to go. Spurs trail by 21. Parker outside.